If it ain't raining, we ain't training. We just ducked in under this tree here. You can see the contrast between the fresh needles versus last year's growth. It's raining. Dogs are wet. Zon's like, ugh. This one's a hard one because I've known this to be true for a long time, and I hate to see it come true. I hate to see it come true, and that is the concept of free equals shit, right? Free equals shit, and I see that amongst the YouTubes for the most part. Of what most of you, there's a lot of good people listening, right? I'm not talking about you, so don't get emotional, take offense. But on this type of platform, there's an enormous amount of time spent getting rid of dross and deleting crap. Just is. I do not have the time to do it back and forth. I may, at best do a thumbs up and maybe a hard on comment. And every once in a while, if I see something just outstanding, I say something, or if there's a meaningful question, or someone states something, and I know that the undesirables are going to take that as a cue that they can get away with, saying all the stuff they keep saying, or golly, how many porn links I've had to delete? It's ridiculous. Like, it really is ridiculous. That's why I don't keep videos up very long, because I'm not about clicks and views. That ain't my thing, So let's walk out here in the rain some. If people don't have buy-in, they don't care. So what is a reasonable notification? If someone told you something 30 days, would that be reasonable? How about 60 days? 60 days. How about 90? All right. What about 6 months? What about 6 months of people saying the same thing over and over again, or having the information available? Hey, that's enough. I don't know what AEAF lock means. I have no idea. Oh, did something. How about 6 months? 6 months, right? So we post a course description, qualifications, no exceptions. These are the prerequisites. Been there for 6 months. What you do in that span of time has nothing to do with me or Rex, right? What you do in that span of time, I don't have any say-so, no buy-in. It's not anything that I have any control over. It's there, it's simple, it's clear, it's in bold, it's in bright red letters in some places. Multiple videos have been done on it. Explanations, reasons why the prerequisites are there, etc. And it never fails when there's ever, whenever there is an open to the public style venue, almost always, almost certainly, people try to get exceptions for not taking care of their own shit and getting their, in this case, because prerequisites, their CCW. Well, I've got this other thing, it's got fingerprints. I don't care. No exceptions. Right? No exceptions. For military students and the private military classes I teach, they'll have to have a certain clearance. If they don't have that clearance, they don't go to class. It's that simple. Now, guess what? I have with military, the lenience I have military students I don't have with civilian, is that Uncle Sugar's got deep pockets. I'm not concerned about being sued by him. Right? Hey, knock it off, goofballs. All right, so it's a different ball game. Like that, he doesn't want infiltrators for his training, right? That's the way Uncle Sugar operates. So I don't have to worry about all that other crap. So then, you know, a JPass printout, whatever, is sufficient. I don't need to see their CCW in that venue. Open to the public? Well, would this count for? No, it doesn't. If it's not a concealed carry permit, it doesn't count. And why are you asking me again for the 5th time to compromise my rules? And you know who does that all the time? The people that ask that, who waste the most time of other people's. It's the people, generally, who are getting something for free or at a deal. Because they discount it in their head. If they were paying for it, different ballgame. If they realize that they're being given, you know, $1,500 a piece, they would change their tune. Unfortunately, you know, no prophet's welcome in his own town kind of thing. And what happens time and time again is that whenever there's free involved, right? If there's free involved, whether it be YouTube or training or whatever, people abuse the person giving to them. Or they complain about it. Or they take up the most amount of time, the most headache, the most stress comes from those people. It does. You've had 6 months to read everything and you didn't read it. How busy are you? Were you on deployment? Right? What's your standards of communication? Think you're going to develop some type of a networking communication plan if you can't, you know, respond to emails or respond to text? Or you choose to use that as your primary because as opposed to talking? Well, why? Because you want documentation of it? You want documentation of your thing? Because you want to blame shift the risk to someone else? You want a paper trail risk to blame to someone else? That's what happens all the time. We see people that love to put their risk on someone else. Like people say, well, you know, like with the courses, it's like, no refunds, no exceptions. Well, I had this emergency. Not my problem. Not my problem. It's just not. It's a limited opportunity for people to attend training. There's good people that didn't get on the thing fast enough and they'll be waiting in the wings, but we can't fill it because there's literally only so many people that can be there. Right? It's just the way it is. So you're paying for a seat. Paying for a seat. That plane's going to fly regardless if you're there or not. Right? Now, if the plane couldn't fly, it'd be a different ballgame. Be a different ballgame. That would be something that I failed to plan for, we didn't plan for, etc. And then that would be, you know, another way of looking at it. But everyone wants to push the risk, especially onto the small business owners, right? For their lack of planning, right? Or their lack of following instructions. If you can't read a document and understand what says no exceptions, it means, how can I word that clearer? No exceptions. N-O exceptions. Right? When I say, you know, hey, I'm not going to engage in arguments with you or emotional responses back and forth because you took me the wrong way, you read emotion into something I said. How many times do I have to say that? Right? No, because you're giving me what? I mean, quantify it, man. Math is a blade that cuts through the bullshit. What are you giving me? If I'm giving you free, right, which I am here on YouTube, if I'm giving you free, well, then what do you have? Oh, it's like that free couch on the side of the road. That's the way people treat it. They could have top tier instruction that's really going to fast forward their education and discount it because of lack of planning, the lack of value, lack of priority with someone else's gift. Have you ever given someone something and they shit all over it? Right? How much of that will you do? And if they continue to shit over it or not listen to you, like, really? You know, you keep asking for more stuff and then you shit on the stuff I gave you. Does that make sense? In what world is that fair and just? Is that fair and just weights and measures? Is it? Or your transference, well, I gave someone else something, so, well, not me, right? You see what I mean? People do the transference. They think, well, I do this because I'm owed this. You're not owed anything from me. Right? I do what I say I'm going to do. I said things multiple times in multiple venues. Your access to certain mentors and instructors is a short window. You need to seize it. Right? Because I only tolerate so much of pearls before swine. And I don't care if those swine, right, say they're not swine. But if they're acting like swine, walks like a duck, talks like a duck, acts like a duck, it's probably a duck, right? You know? Trust but verify. You know, no prioritization before people post or emote or ask for exceptions on other people's perspective of, this is the 5th time you've asked for exceptions. How many times do I have to tell you? You can't listen, right? And then you offer other venues, other opportunities, still don't listen. Or they want to blame shift the risk to someone else. Certain things are in place to reduce risk. I'm all about private classes. I do not like doing open to the public type classes without prerequisites. And if you can't do the basic prerequisite of have a concealed carry permit, I don't want you on my range. I don't care if you have a TS clearance. That means you can't follow instructions and you didn't value the venue. You don't value the venue? Fine. That's fine. Right? Don't expect to ever get anything from me again. Right? Would you? How would you react? How would you react if someone crapped all over your floor? Or took something that was yours and wasted it? Would you be forgiving? Even after 6 months of warning, phone calls, emails, right? How many times do you have to say the same thing over and over again for some people? It's ridiculous. They don't care, right? It has to be a system of levers in place. People, you know what it is? It's them shunning accountability and pressure. People shunning accountability. They're actually outside accountability. Oh, no. I don't want that outside accountability and pressure. I'll pressure other people, but oh man, when it comes to me, all right? Why? Hurts ego, hurts pride. And most likely, it's just people don't value other people's stuff because they don't have buy-in. Right? No buy-in, free equals shit. Seen it time and time again. Never again. Never again. Not into it, man. Not into it. It's very disheartening when other people that have proven value, that communicate, that have their stuff squared away, they end up paying for the people who don't. Right? They're pulling the weight of the people who don't. And those people are costing more and more resources, more and more time. It doesn't need to be that way. It's disheartening. I don't know how it's going to be handled. I don't know. I've thought about it. I don't know. It's one of those things that with the current political climate and the amount of lack of care I have seen, the free ends up having to go away. It has to go away because the biggest waste of your time is self-imposed servitude to undeserving people, organizations. Undeserving people of organizations, right? How many times, right? How many times would you tolerate it? You give 6 months warning, right? 5+ times. You ever see that video I did on vetting? 5+ times, right? What I tell my granddaughter, if a guy's saying he's gonna do stuff, he doesn't do it, keeps asking you to compromise your rules, run away. Run away. No, I deal in a world of facts. I deal in a world of facts. That's just it, man. And it may piss some people off. You know, people like to, take the moral high ground thing. Whatever. Well, your due diligence was 6 months ago. You didn't prioritize it because you didn't care. If your communication process is messed up, it's not my fault. Hey, puppies. Not my fault. If you can't read and comprehend, no exceptions in bold, what can I do? Right? There's no fine print there. No exceptions, no refunds. It's simple, man. Simple concept. It's not difficult. Right? Why would someone keep asking you to compromise unless they had different motives? Huh? Unless they had different motives or they weren't who they said they were. Right? These are things, man. Remember what I did for a living. That's the way I see it. So, those of you that are showing up for class, have your stuff. I don't want to tell you to go away. I hate having to do that. But it's the way it is. It's a system of levers. If you don't have your permit, it's not current and it's not in your hand. When you show up for registration, well, too bad. Too bad. Not my fault. Not my fault. It's a filter. It's a gate. It's the simplest thing. If you can't do that, you're danger on the range. Danger on the range because you don't care enough about the training at a minimum. You didn't care enough about the training to get your stuff squared away prior to the training event when the notification was over 6 months ago. I don't know what to tell you, right? Except for, sorry. That's your fault, not mine. You can't blame shift that responsibility, a lack of planning, right, on someone who's given you every opportunity and chance to do the right thing. It's simple, right? It's simple. And people want someone else all the time to take the risk for them, right? And not taking into account the risk they have already paid. The risk they've already paid. So think about that. Don't look gift horses in the mouth. It's silly. Reevaluate what you consider decent training and what you consider fair. Because had the shoe been on the other foot, how patient would you be with other people? Would you give them 6 months warning, multiple videos, multiple writings, multiple emails, multiple phone calls? Would you do that? Would you really? Get outside, but be fair and firm. Carry rucksacks, not feelings bags. Shalom.